I'm Ed Evans. Today is the 7th of February, 2025. Here's an article from The Guardian, and it shares some information about Professor James Hansen's latest report on global warming. He believes that we're going to surpass 2 degrees centigrade. That's right, 2 degrees centigrade is dead, and he means in about 20 years. Well, let's go down here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is just a quick shot so you get the idea. There are links in the description box below. There are links to this article, to Professor Hansen's PDF on this issue. That's the science. And I think I'm going to share a link to Paul Beckworth's page on YouTube because he does a great job explaining this article along with the meaning of what it means when ship pollution is reduced. That's a sort of global dimming being reduced. What happens when global dimming is reduced? Well, more sunlight reaches the Earth, warms the Earth, melts more ice, and that is albedo. That is white stuff that reflects the sun back into space. So the planet continues to warm. I guess that's a feedback loop. The oceans cover 71% of the planet, and they're very important. As they lose ice, the ocean warms, especially in the Arctic. The IPCC analysis was heavily reliant on computer models, and that complementary approach they took, basically, this is what Hansen said. In the new study published in the journal Environment, Science and Policy for a Sustainable Development, Hansen's team said, quote, failure to be realistic in climate assessment and failure to call out the fecklessness of current policies to stem global warming is not helpful to young people, unquote. They said the IPCC analysis was heavily reliant on computer models and that the complementary approach they took of making more use of observations and climate analogs from the distant past was needed. So Hansen's saying, let's use the past. Let's use some earth science that deals with the past to understand what's coming. Whereas the IPCC was relying on models. Both approaches are great approaches, and it's good that science allows for these different modes of learning about Earth's patterns of development. Okay, however, Hansen would tell us, these two factors do not fully explain the extreme temperatures of the persistence after El Nino ended in mid-2024. They left puzzled climate scientists asking if there was a worrying new factor not previously accounted for, or if the extra heat was an unusual but temporary natural variation. A key focus has been on emissions from shipping. For decades, the sulfate particles produced by ships burning fuel have blocked sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface, suppressing temperatures. That's all over now because those ships are not burning that dirty bunker fuel. They've reduced their pollution quite a bit, I understand. Anyhow, let me go on here and quote Gavin Schmidt. Both approaches are useful and often complementary, but I think in this case, Hansen's approach is too simple and doesn't factor in changes in Chinese emissions or internal variability. It's good to hear. If there's anything I like about science, it's discussion. Discussion, empirical evidence, rational thought. The new study also argues the planet's climate sensitivity to rising carbon emissions has been underestimated, partly because of the underestimation of the impact of reduced emissions. Quite a bit here about AMOC. Hansen's point of no return could be avoided based on growing conviction of young people that they should follow the science.